I'm back. Michael Williams here with White Label Consulting. We're going to review a podcast today of one of our clients that we work with regularly, and just wanted to give you some good tips on a great podcast. And this is actually one of our good clients, and all of our clients are good clients. This is one who has excelled because she has great content. And so we want to speak on some of the things that we believe that she does well. So I'm going to start the video here. I'm going to mute her audio just for a second until we get into the actual beginning of the podcast. So first of all, she starts with, hold on, let me go back here. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to mute it for a second.
Unfortunately, we are going to be talking about the wolf that.
So that starts with an intro for a podcast, which I recommend you make an intro. You can make an intro in CapCut very, very easily by, maybe I'll show you how to do that next podcast. It's how to load several pictures and clips into CapCut or Premiere Pro and make a podcast intro. So one thing I will say, I think the podcast may be a little bit hot, only because in my ears it was peaking. Peaking is when your audio moves beyond unity gain and into the red. So anybody doing a podcast intro, make sure that if you choose a track, that the track is limited or the track is brought to unity gain, which you can do just by lowering the audio in your final output. So other than that, I love the intro. It shows the diversity, and we're going to get into some of the rest of the podcast here right now.
It keeps on woofing. Yes, that is the name that I have coined for our speaker for the evening, Mr. Jamal Bryant. And the reason why shows like this are important is because, as you guys know, I have.
So, you know, when you hear the old adage, or you hear the old saying, lights, camera, action, that is probably one of the best phrases to go by. Instead, I add an extra A. I do lights, camera, audio, action, right? And you can do these in any order. What you'll find here, she has great lighting. It's a cooler light, maybe a 4700 Kelvin. Don't worry about that. That's a technical term. It's a bluer light. It's a cooler light, right? You can go warmer. Warmer would give her a more yellowish tone, and so that's a preference with you guys. Like me, I have a light up here that is this one's probably set to 4800 or so, probably 4600. This one over here set to 4800. I like a cooler tone because of my skin tone. If I go too warm, then I start looking like an alien or something that's been affected with an outer extraterrestrial disease. So I don't like that. I like to be a little bit more on the lighter brown side, lighter shade of brown, not that shade of brown, whatever. So you'll find here that her lighting is great. She also have this ambient lighting in the back. I was calling it fractal lighting for some reason. I guess because I'm working in Photoshop all the time. This is actually called ambient lighting. Ambient lighting creates mood in the background. It also creates some separation. Now, I know some professionals going to come in and comment and say that's not actually what ambient lighting does. This is what I've learned it to do. So if you want to correct me in the comment section, please like, share, and subscribe before you comment, and I would appreciate that. God bless you. All right. So ambient lighting here, right? It allows you to create some distance, and also works with some color schemes as well. We have some ambient lighting here, over here to the right. Let me switch out here. So we have some ambient lighting over here. I have a purple light LED that gives the room a little bit of a purple tone. And then the rest of the lighting, where's that other light coming from? Oh, I guess most of that. Then we have a green light right here. It's a little bit of ambient lighting. And then I have another light that I don't even have turned on right now. So ambient lighting is great for your podcast. It really gives the room some touch. Now, if I had turned this light on right here, right, this light is the yellow light, that would create a little bit of ambient lighting as well. Be a little bit of mood lighting right there. Right? I don't have it on, but it's okay. It still works for what we're doing, right? So you'll find out that Standard of Truth, April Chapman, has a great setup. She looks like she's in a corner office. Yeah, she is, because I just came from there. I visited the studio. It's a corner office. So everything's framed right. You know, the lighting is overhead. This is where you can hear. This is where you see the light little shadows right here. The framing of her, where she's sitting is great. I like to keep about a hand's distance from the top of my camera. Anytime I am filming, I might be a little high. Nope, I'm perfect right there. That's where I like to keep the camera. Sometimes if you're doing stuff like broadcast, you might want to be on what's called a third. the cameras are split. If you look on your camera, it has a third grid that you can have thirds. So you want to be on the first third or the last third. That's usually where you want to be at. And so that is it's a great framing to me, my opinion. Another thing that's great about this is the distance of her mic. She's using the Rode mic, the mic, I think it's called the pod mic or something. It's like $100 mic. Sounds really good. For her voice, probably she can EQ it with a little bit more bass in the voice because of the tone of her voice to give it a full volume. But that's a preference. It's a preference for me. I like a full volume, full range mic, but it doesn't have to be like that. When I'm mixing in church, I try to knock out some of the lows because of the feedback frequency. So I'm giving you some technical stuff here, but this is really something that you should take a look at. Now let's go back into the video and look at some other elements.
My adult life, y'all, I was dead in my sin, fully immersed into churchianity and churchianity culture. And I realized that a lot of people do not like videos like this because they believe that, we should just pray for Jamal and we should just let God handle it.
I switched sections, and I'm going to move over a little bit. I'm going to move the microphone over because I need to fix this framing. I switched scenes here in OBS to demonstrate that there's something great going on here as well. It's called branding. Now this back here, right here, that I'm mousing over, I wish I could circle it, but I can't. But on this canvas right here, there is a product. There's a product here, right over here. There's some other products, as well as right here in the front, there's a little glass area right there. There's some products in place, right? And I think that is great for individuals to remember. YouTube is not the end all be all for financial gain. The thing is to get your product known, right? Like for me, I am a guy that reps a clothing line, and the clothing line that I rep is custom. Let me give you a quick demonstration. So I don't have to play the whole video, but that's the brand I represent. It's the clothes I wear. It's the stuff that I represent. I am into shoes a little bit, right? And you right over here in the corner, you can see some Puma shoes that I haven't even worn yet. I'll probably wear them tomorrow, but branding is key. You need to have your product in place all the time. My product is always on my being. So in doing podcasting and live streaming, you need to have a viewpoint that YouTube subscriptions are great, but the product is what you're pushing. If you offer a service like we're going to be offering a course on this whole thing of podcasting and live streaming that'll be available for you. This is something that you need to be invested in. So let's go back over here. Make sure that you are having your product placement everywhere, and also make sure that you are having your show notes below you so you know that where you're going. She looked down right at a certain point to make sure that whatever she was talking about was actually being followed on her podcast. Right here, she's going to go into a partnership, which is very good, and it's also going to go into some product marketing and placement like we talked about. So let's check that out real quick.
Like a whole team of allies. That is the game changer. That is the first step towards success. So the Covenant Eyes app, right? It tracks your activity on your devices. And then they have this separate component, the Victory app, that shares your activity feed right to your allies' phone. So I have a promo code. I want you guys to use TSOTP. That stands for the Standard of Truth Podcast, so that you can sign up and get your first 30 days free. So go ahead, visit covenanteyes.com. I want you to sign up today. Use my code TSOTP to get your 30 days free.
30 minutes into her broadcast, she does something very good. She has something great, actually. She has a product placement in her podcast that allows you to know exactly what she offers on her website. So that's one thing you probably should look into, is if you have a product when you start, it's great for you. Some of these products you can find online. You can actually find some products, buy in bulk and cheap, and then resell them. I'm not saying that's what she's doing. I'm giving you some ideas for if you don't have a product. So you could actually find something that can be rebranded, or you can actually find some devotionals, or you can find some different things that you can purchase and you can actually sell on your own. So I would definitely recommend that you try to have some podcast products or services when you start your podcast, so that you're not just waiting for a YouTube check, or you're not waiting for sponsorships. You're actually creating a lane to which you are able to generate income from the subject that you're talking about. So I think this is a very good assessment from the things that we've talked about. In my opinion, the lighting, the ambient lighting, the audio. I know she's using a Rodecaster Pro, so it's a very good audio card. The staging of the actual set, being able to have, great visuals in the background. Some of these are her own products right here, and also the branding of the cup right here in front. The placement of the microphone. So these are all things that you probably should look into doing. Aspire to be great, aspire to be who God has called you to be, but also aspire to do things in the best way you can with the budget you have that's affordable. If you need any help, Michael Williams, White Label Consulting. This has been a podcast review. Please hit me up later. You have a great night, day, or evening. God bless.